Hey, I'm Adam, co-founder along with my wife on an Amazon FBA business. We've been doing this since about June 2017, so we're going on our third full year here in 2020. We are six-figure sellers. In today's video, we're going to go over 5 mistakes that we've made along the way. It's not all the mistakes, but we're going to pick 5 and talk about those. Hopefully you'll get some value out of that so that you can learn as much as you can about how to navigate your way through this Amazon jungle. One of the biggest mistakes that we've made for sure is not paying attention to inventory storage fees, especially in Q4. Early on, we would send everything we had from our manufacturer straight to the Amazon warehouse. And that was all fine and good as long as the things were selling, typically within 90 days. If you can't sell within 90 days, get your stuff out of there, or don't send it in. In a perfect world, you'll be sending in 30 days worth of goods on an ongoing basis. That's gonna be 100% optimal. Not always ideal though. We tend to try to do 90-day increments. However, in the past, we've sent very large shipments into Amazon. And it was okay during the year. I mean, storage fees aren't terrible and things are moving, but when you hit Q4 and you've got stuff in their warehouse, man, you're gonna get hit with a huge bill. So it's really important to keep an eye on your inventory reports and the storage fee reports, and try to work your logistics out so that you're not going to get hit with a massive amount of fees in Q4, because they will hit you and they will destroy all of your profits if you're not careful. And by the way, if you want me to dig any deeper than what I've just talked about there, please leave me a comment down below. I'm happy to go into any of your questions as we come across it along the way. But definitely one of our biggest mistakes was not paying attention to Q4 inventory storage fees. And that leads me into mistake number 2, just not being prepared for Q4 at all. So Q4 is a big season. It's a huge season for us. We didn't know how big it was going to be until we got to Q4. So the trick with Q4 is you also have to realize the manufacturers are also getting slammed with orders to build things for all of us Amazon sellers. So you got to be way out in front. You've got to be able to project and predict all of your sales pretty accurately so that you can get the manufacturer to ship out your stuff, sea shipping hopefully, to save you money, to ship out all your stuff, to hit the warehouse, to wait the couple weeks it sometimes takes for Amazon to even pick your stuff up, and then to reship them all out to the different warehouses. It just takes time. And as you do this more and more, you start to you get a feel for how the logistics works and the timing for all the things. So really important for you to be successful in Q4. Do not run out of stock. Number 1, keep your inventory as close to accurate as you can for 90 days. So you minimize your storage fees, and you have to actually get your stuff there on time. So it's hard, it's not easy, but that is a mistake we made by not paying attention to the upfront logistics. And I'm talking like June, July. That's right about when we're thinking about Q4 and making our orders for that time. So prepare yourself for Q4. Another big mistake that we made along the way, and this is probably gonna hit you guys the hardest, or hit home the most. There are so many Amazon YouTube gurus out there that all have different opinions and advice on what to do, especially around launch time. I think one of the biggest mistakes that I made was taking a few of them a little too seriously and spending a small fortune on Amazon PPC and Facebook ads before we were ready to do that. Before I even understood how much money one can lose on Amazon PPC and Facebook ads, especially when they're not being effective. So the mistake here is taking some of these YouTube gurus way too seriously, doing it step by step the way they say without the context of your product and being fully optimized and not sticking to a budget. The worst thing you can do is listen to one of these like PPC YouTubers and do it step by step, especially the ones that say you've got to spend, $50, $150 a day, 1,000 plus keywords. Man, if that doesn't sell, if you're not converting, you are going to lose your lunch. you're going to lose lots of money. Same with Facebook. If you're not dialed in on your audience, if you don't have a good ad, if things are not clicking on all cylinders, you are going to lose your lunch. You're going to hear lots of folks tell you about building a brand and spend the money and all this and that. I'm like, it's just, no, guys, no. My own experience, granted, I'm a 6-figure seller. I'm not a 7-figure seller, but I'm making profit. So I'm good to go there. But I'm telling you right now, if you're small and you're new, go easy on the Facebook ads, go easy on the PPC, go easy on the giveaways. I'll get into that later. But PPC will eat your lunch if you're not careful. Pick some keywords that are very relevant to you, and hit those hard. But do not go and spend $150 a day on an unproven product unless you're going to pay attention to it like every hour of the day and try to optimize that thing going forward. I just don't want to see anybody else losing as much money as I did a couple times by doing exactly that. You got to be more strategic about how you're placing your money out into the world. Don't just blindly throw it away, because Amazon and Facebook will absolutely take your money. And when I say losing money, so the bill I got from Facebook was around $10,000, and I got 2 sales from that. So while I still do run Facebook ads, it's much dialed down than it was at that point. I have a much more efficient system than what I did in the past. But yeah, 10K bill came from Facebook for 2 sales. Sure, I got email addresses. Sure, I got people in our Facebook group. But come on, 10K, like that could have been spent anywhere else. You got to be careful. You got to pay attention to this stuff. Just don't blindly go after it like that. So that's the mistake. Just have a budget. Don't go all crazy when you're first starting out on PPC and Facebook until you know what's going on. You've really got to come out swinging, but with a budget. Another mistake that I made along the way was the passion product. So we sell a few products on Amazon now, and I was sure that there's this other product that would complement the products we have. And I was convinced that all of our customers would happily and eagerly buy this new product that I was trying to get into. I did no research on it. I did 0 product research on it. And had I done that, I would have seen that I was about to enter one of the most competitive markets on Amazon. And yet I spent the money, I shipped it all in, sent an email out to our customers. We got a couple purchases, but I ended up losing a ton of money, mostly in warehouse fees. So don't do product research based on passion or ideas or feelings. You really have to back it by data. Even if it's a complementary product to your current product line, you still have to back it by data. So the final mistake that I want to talk about today is not ordering samples prior to a large quantity run in manufacturing. So I made the mistake with one of my factories early on, where I did order a sample of their generic product just to make sure the quality was good and all that, and that was fine. That worked out well. But then I made a bunch of changes, modifications. I added a couple things. This was actually a bundled item where I had 2 different things being bundled together. One of the bundles was they gave me pictures of it. The pictures looked great. Everything looked good. And then I did request 20 of these items be shipped to me as samples prior to production. And the factory just flat out pushed back and talked me out of it. So I said, fine, the pictures look good, let's just do it. Well, everything made it to Amazon, and I pulled one back to just check on it, and it was completely wrong. So it turned out even though I got pictures, the one angle that I needed to catch this error, I didn't get. So that was a huge mistake. So ultimately what happened was the factory refused to make my change. We would definitely had to reorder more of this item, but they refused. So we found a different factory. They did it. It was perfect. They shipped that over to us here at our house. We pulled back everything from Amazon and then spent the next gosh, I don't know, it was probably a month of we grabbed our 3 kids, my wife and I, and we just sat around and just fixed it. Just redid the packaging, got rid of the old component, put the new one in, sent it all back to Amazon, and that cost a ton of money and it cost a ton of time to make that mistake. The good news though, the new factory that made the new component for us, we ended up moving the entire operation to them because they were just so much better to work with, and they absolutely nailed it as far as what I was asking for. So I kind of knew, even though the cost per item on this batch was going to be high, I just fought through it and we just kept going. We kept selling. Didn't make a whole lot of margin there, but I knew on the backside of that, the new factory not only would make it better, but they were even cheaper, much more efficient. So it turned out to be a win, but the loss that we incurred up front of that was just insane. So that was my mistake. I should have gotten a sample. A lot of companies talk about inspections. You could do that as well. In this particular case, I didn't have an inspection person. I just wanted the sample. So the mistake here was really just, when you need a sample of something and you're making changes and customizations, like, get it before you go and order, 1,000 units or more. Make sure it's right before you do that. Okay, so that concludes 5 mistakes that we've made along our journey over 3.5 some odd years. If you found any value in this content at all, give us a like. Definitely leave us a comment. If you got any questions, I know you have a million questions if you're new to Amazon FBA, like we did. You're scouring YouTube. Any questions at all? If I can help you guys out, I will. I've got lots of knowledge. I don't have 7-figure $1 million seller knowledge, but I do have the knowledge of your next step. So just hit me up. I'm happy to help. Hit the subscribe button if you'd like to continue seeing this content. If you've made it this far, this is the first video that I've done for Amazon FBA, so hopefully there's many more to come. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.